to Washington Football Week with your host, one half of that dynamic duo, Sean Spencer, and South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer.
Don't play us if you're undefeated.
Where we celebrate past success while looking to a bright future. There's a youth movement in Washington, and they're ready to take the reins. Led by fire.
Play aggressive, D.
It's a new day. New dawn. No longer the laughing stock. It's time to take command.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And you know what day it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day! And I'm with my guy. You see him over there. South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
What's going on, man? Happy to be back. Another Wednesday. We're going regular now. We got stuff to talk about. We got football to watch. There's a lot to be excited about.
Oh, yeah. I am very excited. I do have to ask this real quick. Papa Bear, you've had a couple more days with your boy going to school. How have things been?
He's loving kindergarten. So that's going really well. He's very much like in aftercare where he plays basketball. And he's got a lot to say every single day we pick him up. So, yeah. We had a chance to drop him off. We got to walk him into the classroom again on Monday. And it was a whole lot easier this day than it was day one. Oh.
You made it through another milestone, and I'm so happy for him. So, hey, yeah, let's go. But look, like you said, man, excitement fills the air. And Will, I got to ask you this, man. Before we're going to bring a couple people on. Our guy Jack's coming on. Our guy Jared's coming on. We're going to talk about the preseason. We're going to talk about the Cowboys, even in the NFC East update. But before we do that, Will, and I know I called you out last week for saying you don't like preseason, but I think you kind of share, you might echo my sentiments on there was some excitement coming into this game this past week, man. What do you think, man?
I might have been a little bit of an absent dad about like 12:30. I was staring at my phone, hitting refresh on Twitter, and so maybe I bought into it a little bit.
Oh yeah. You know what? I'm not afraid to say it right now. I have been fighting it all off season, ladies and gentlemen. If you've seen anything we've done, I said, no, man, I want my guy Drake. I don't want another RG3 guy. But coming into this game, it was one of those where like I got to be in front of a TV. I want to see it. And to really touch on this quickly, that first drive, he didn't disappoint. He did everything and more that we would have wanted, including capping it off with that read option touchdown. And you saw that speed. You saw that sleight of hand and him hit that corner. And in a good way, you can't tell me there wasn't that shades of RG3, like in your mind, like, oh, man, we got something here, man.
Yeah. To the point where it's like, is this happening? Is
right.
this happening to us?
Right. Exactly. Oh, man, exactly. But look, let's go ahead and get into it. We have had some news, some stuff that came out yesterday.
That's fine.
Yesterday. Yeah. Martavis Bryant signs with the Commanders. Those of you who don't know, he has been around the league. I think he got drafted with the Steelers.
He did.
And had some solid years in Pittsburgh, but then for certain off-field issues was, I believe, dismissed or released from the team.
He got suspended for a season for marijuana. Then he got suspended indefinitely 2 years later again for marijuana, which is kind of BS because they don't test for it anymore. So yeah, he's been out of the league for a while. A while.
So with that being said, Will, I mean, even in his prime, it was still maybe I can take him or leave him. But now it's kind of like getting Mariota now. It's like, were we that desperate? I mean, I didn't think we were desperate. So what do you think?
I think it shows we're desperate. I think it shows that they've had an opportunity to assess the wide receivers at camp and who they've got, and they're like, okay, we're missing something or this is not working. Because like you said, they could have brought him in at any point. And in the offseason, they could have brought him in way earlier, and they didn't. And so I just, you kind of wonder. The one thing I'll say about him is Dan Quinn said that when he was on Dallas's practice squad, he was tough to guard. He gave their defensive backs fits. But my thing would say, well, then why didn't Dallas activate him? Why was he on your practice squad the whole time? But yeah, I think it's certainly they recognize that we are missing a tall wide receiver who can help us out, and a big-bodied wide receiver, and this guy is somebody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And listen, if we get even a shred of what he has, like he was a solid receiver. He was looking like he was going to be one of those next, or at least he had a season or two, like he was going to be one of those next receivers in the Antonio Brown, the Juju Smith-Schuster. There was a while where they were just pumping those guys out, Chase Claypool in his early years. So we hope we can get that. And like you said, if he's guardable in practice, but again, or that was before when he was with Dallas, but who knows, man? Like, to me, this still kind of is just like, okay.
Yes.
We need it though.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm not sitting here getting excited over it. I did ask my friend down here, who's a Clemson grad, like, is this going to be your first Commanders jersey? Should he make the team? Should he catch like 2 touchdowns? Will you? But if he makes the team, I think that's a win. Right there. Like it. Yeah. I've got very low expectations for him. But I will say this: what does that say about our wide receiver corps? That on August 13th they're going to bring in somebody because they're saying we're missing this.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. When you have the likes of De'Ami Brown, Byron Pringle, you know what I mean? Like Tinsley. You got guys that are trying. Luke McCaffrey, we're all hoping he'll be great, but after you go McLaurin and Jahan Dotson, you're searching, man. You're hoping you're trying to see who's going to be that next guy to step up, and I don't know where he fits on that.
Well, you even mentioned somebody. You gave someone a roster spot there that's not been doing well. Jahan Dotson. He played the most snaps of any wide receiver against the Jets. Who does that in a preseason game number 1?
Right.
What starter has to do that? There was also Brian Mitchell talked about it the other day about saying there's a wide receiver with his body language is not, he basically feels entitled. He wouldn't say who he was, but there was just a lot of speculation that he's talking about Jahan. And it's like, you had a bad sophomore season. You've got a brand new coaching staff in place. Mm-hmm. This is not the time for any type of feeling of entitlement, especially when these guys preach competition.
Right. Because that gives you, and especially with this signing now, that lets you know everybody could be on that chopping block, man. So we shall see. But look,
I wouldn't be acting like I've got a roster spot when there's rumors out here that a wide receiver that's better than me wants to come to DC. Mm-hmm. But our team, you know what I mean? Like I could be packaged in a trade, unless that's what his goal is. But
Well, but again, what kind of trade bait is that? I mean, at wide receiver, what's the best? I mean, McLaurin would be the best thing we got given out there, and especially if Jahan has another season like he had last year, we can't. Come on, you know what I mean? And it begs the question. And again, this is just one preseason game, but it begs the question: was the Jahan that we saw the first year the real guy, or what we saw last year? And it proved, we'll have to see. But look, with that being said, let's go right into this. Stock up and stock down for the Jets game, man. Will, easy to say Jaden Daniels and his great drive, and his stock is going up, but his stock has always been rising, Will. So what are some of the people that you liked in this game?
Yeah. I'm going to hold off on taking away your thunder because you've deserved it for 4 years. So I'm going to go and say tight end Ben Sinnett.
Yeah.
And what you saw, I mean, he didn't make a huge impact here. We're not talking about 6 catches and 108 yards, and this guy's the next George Kittle. But there have been reports that he hasn't shown out in training camp the way people kind of thought that he would. And then all of a sudden, in his first opportunity as a pro to get out there, he makes a catch. He busts a bunch of tackles. He keeps going. People have to jump on his back, and you go, oh, that's why they drafted this guy.
Oh, yeah.
So, maybe it's a situation where, training camp is training camp, but this guy's a physical player, and you can't do that in training camp. He can't showcase what he is. It kind of reminds me of a Chris Cooley type, where he's not going to wow you in underwear Olympics, but when he gets out there, he's going to be tough for you to tackle. He's going to play hard. And so that could be what they saw there, because there's a lot of talk that we're going to run, 2 tight ends out there, and Sinnett's going to be a big part of this offense. And up to this point, up to the Jets game, we hadn't heard a lot. So it's the opposite of the Cole Turner effect, but it's a good opposite.
Oh, yeah. I do like that. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I want to say, I want to go stock up. I want to go to collective, our special teams. All right. We had, was it Riley Patterson get the extra point? We had Ahmed get the field goal. And then obviously our leader, Tress Way, with that huge tackle, looking like a daggone linebacker. It's a positive. It's something positive, especially when we've looked at it this offseason. All right, we've got a kicker after letting go slide. Then all of a sudden, McManus has the legal issues. And then it's oh, what are we doing? I did not expect anything positive out of our kickers, outside of Tress Way. So the fact that we got something positive, I got to give them kudos. This Ahmed guy, I still don't know really who he is, but you got it done. And so I'll give them their stock up on that. But I do want to say that because I think that's going to be crucial in this season. We know we have a punter. We need to get our kicking game going. And this is the time to do it in the preseason.
Well, you're kind of nice. You're kind of really kind because your guy, Ramiz Ahmed, already got cut by bringing in Bryant. So he's had his cup of tea in the NFL. And Riley Patterson's going to field goal in that game.
I saw that.
So I'm
grasping
nice
for straws
critic.
on the preseason
Nice
game. It was more a way to get Tress Way in there and talk about his great tackle. But among other things, honestly, the fact that we're getting it's hard to say anything positive about it, but that's where we're going. What's another one of yours?
I'm gonna go Bryson Tremaine. There was a lot of good talk from practices about him. Now, obviously, the fact that you bring in a Martavis Bryant, that means now Tremaine's not the only tall receiver we have. But they talked about Tremaine, going up there and getting the ball. They talked about he's an undrafted free agent wide receiver. He impressed the coaches last year so that he made the practice squad. He is the only big-bodied receiver we have. Problem is he doesn't have speed. So, again, I'm not talking about this guy being our wide receiver too, but he is, for the second year in a row, making plays and getting himself noticed. Now, what is that going to change with the Martavis Bryant? Because Bryant has better upside, even at 32. That could really hurt him, but up to this point, Tremaine, remember, what's his name? Mitchell Tinsley made the team last year, and you're not hearing any of his name. Tremaine, you are hearing his name. So his stock seems to be kind of rising a little bit during training camp.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another position group, definitely want to focus on that linebacker group and focusing on KJ Henry. Only had a couple tackles, 2 tackles, tackle for loss, but what I've seen from him we talk about all these guys kind of being on notice, like we're bringing in guys, especially at your position, so you don't know if you're going to be in there. And I know he's that linebacker and also potentially edge, but seeing him kind of get it going with the likes of a Bobby Wagner, I know he wasn't on the field, but also Frankie Lavu and all those guys in camp. This is something I've been expecting for a couple years and hoping to see, and they're looking like, and some of the things that they're talking about that he's kind of getting it and he's kind of had his flashes. And in this defense, I'm eager to see how they are able to utilize him if he's able to keep progressing on the depth chart.
Right. My last stock up, and he didn't make much of an impact, but he showed that they had small little glimpses. But it certainly seems like our boy Luvu is going to be playing the Micah Parsons role this year.
Yes.
And that just gets me so excited. That's all I can say.
Love it. And everything they've been saying about him too is flying all around, energy, all of that stuff. And my last stock up is Zach Ertz. And I know he didn't, get out there, he wasn't doing it, but everything I've heard about him in-house, everything I heard about him being the leader in-house and really kind of being the vocal guy is something key.
Right. Yeah, he is. He really is being that leader out there that we're looking for. To be more than just, an old guy, but he's also going to make plays. You're not going to talk about do I need to talk about him?
No,
okay,
if you want to
do it.
He hasn't done anything yet. This is still training camp.
All right, I'm doing it. I was trying to give you a chance. Stock up. The biggest stock up at training camp, wide receiver number 2, De'Ami Brown.
Nope.
That's the stock up. And what happened in his first chance to he made a one-handed catch during the joint practices. He made a catch on Jaden Daniels' great throw. That was a check that Daniels said, go, run past him. What did De'Ami do? He ran past him. What did Jaden do? He dropped it in there. It was tight coverage. De'Ami brought it in. De'Ami Brown went from roster bubble to he's a top 4 receiver on this team right now.
About daggone time. Look, I'm not believing any of it till I see it in a regular season game. All right, this guy out here, and look, I've heard the stories. You sent me the thing from Twitter, basically saying he's catching 500 balls a day and practice doing this thing. Hey, look, shout out to him. More power to you. But what took you so long, in my opinion? You know where I stand with De'Ami. I shouted his praises as soon as he came in the league, and I stuck with him the first 2 years. You're going to have to do more than just in the preseason for me, but I do like your stock up on that one. But let's flip the script, man. Let's go down. What is your stock down? What are some of your guys that are kind of like, why is he still here?
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be why is he still here, because that would be even worse. But Forbes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he got picked on. He got picked on in the joint practices. He got picked on in the preseason game by Tyrod Taylor. Now, don't forget, Tyrod Taylor loves picking on Washington, so that is his thing. Mm-hmm. And I will say this, because I hate speaking negative of our players. I do. I'm a glass half full. You don't know what type of schemes they were running. They were probably running a lot of vanilla schemes. They may have an idea how they're going to play Forbes, and they're not showing it right now. Why put that out on film? But if your job is to be impressing in your second year, showing improvement with a new coaching staff, he's not exactly doing it.
No. And we've heard everything about him kind of bulking up, and this is supposed to be, but he's still kind of getting manhandled out there, and I don't know. We're gonna have to see how that continues. For me, my first stock down is pretty obvious, and we didn't even get that much out of this guy. But it's just I need more for a veteran, especially if you're gonna be the backup. Marcus Mariota, like what in the world? Like he fumbled his first snap, like he's getting knocked back. Like he does not give me any confidence. I mean, I am so excited to have JD5, but if God forbid something happens to him, what? You know what I mean? I mean, shoot, throw in Driscoll. At least Driscoll kind of, can get the ball in there every once in a while. But Mariota at number 2, I at least expected to see something. Like I at least expected kind of to see him, come in here, take over like Jacoby. When we had Jacoby Brissett, at least when Jacoby came in the game, you were comfortable that okay, he knows what he's doing. But Marcus just, and I know it's a small sample size, but still, you're a vet in the league this long. This is an offense that you should be familiar with. I got an issue with that.
You said it right when you said it's a small sample size, but it continues the information that's been coming out all training camp that says he does not look good. I mean, they really kind of thought that the reporters thought that Mariota would be taking the first snaps. Everyone knew Daniels was going to get the starter reps on week 1, but they thought they would fake this whole like Mariota's in the lead and Jaden needs to earn his stripes, and he goes out there like immediately. It's like, and he's taking all the first team reps. And so it's like Mariota's really struggling. It's a darn good thing that he's there for his mentorship because he's not there for his play right now.
Right. Who else you got, man?
Yeah. So the other one is stock down Jamin Davis because he's out there playing a lot late into the game. But I will say this. I'm going to put this caveat. He's learning a new position. So they had him play some at linebacker and some as primary pass rusher, DN, that type of thing. So if you are going to be transitioning into a new position, and especially when he's so raw as a pass rusher, then why not give him as many opportunities as you can? And the fact that there now is an injury to Jordan McGee and they haven't said for how long, maybe that helps his cause. So we may be looking into it a little bit more. They literally may have just been saying, we want to get you more playing time. I don't know, but it's just you're a first-round pick playing in the first preseason game late. That's not a good sign.
No, and I think it goes along with the theme of what we said with all Ron's guys, and they're all kind of, on notice. This could be our last year, and they're already bringing in people in those positions. So get your game up. And another person that I think, come on the edge. Another person I want to put in there that one of Ron's draft picks, guy that we had hyped up, we talked about before here, Cole Turner. You know what I mean? Cole Turner already was falling down the depth chart.
Yes.
But now that you saw Ben Sinnott, in his game and people are talking so positively of him, Cole Turner only had one catch in the game. And he was out there for a number of plays, but he wasn't able to really get noticed, do what he needed to do. And I honestly, you're not going to have that much more time. And I don't think they're going to hold you, much longer if you can't show out or do something more. And right now, I'm trying to think. I got him 4th.
Yeah.
Right now, because it's what? Ertz, Bates, and then Sinnott. And, I got him farther down there. And honestly, and the only reason I'd say that is because I really haven't seen anything from the other guys. So, that him for me is just it's more upsetting than Sammis Reyes when he was here a couple of years ago, because we didn't really think anything of that. Cole Turner came out of that offense from Nevada, man. He came out, with Carson Strong, and he threw it all over the place, and it was a tight end and pseudo wide receiver type deal. But it's been lackluster, and it's sad for him. But hey, I mean, he might not be here that much longer.
Right. Especially when you got Colson Yankoff playing right behind you. You got to worry about that guy.
For anything, just the name, man. Yankoff. Who else you got, man?
That's it.
Yeah. For me, another one, just quick, the running back room. It's becoming pretty solidified in camp. We've talked about Brian Robinson and then Austin Eckler. And then I know you were talking to me about who was it?
McNichols.
McNichols.
Wiley. McNichols and Wiley. Yeah.
Yeah. So another stock down for me, and just based on numbers, our number 2 guy, Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we thought he was going to be, the heir apparent to even by them bringing Eckler, we thought he was going to be at least number 3. And I mean, he is quickly disappearing on that depth chart. So,
yeah.
I mean, again, he's another one. I know he'll probably get a lot more time this coming week and going in, for the next week. But again, you only have 3 preseason games now, so they got to get it down to that 53.
Yep. Yep. You're right.
So there we go. Yeah, buddy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we bring in Jack.
One more segment. The Dolphins.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bet. Let's get right into it because the game is coming up. We had joint practice and the preseason game this Saturday, 7:30. Play the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, the Tua and Tyreek Hill probably not be in those games, but let's talk about those joint practices, Will.
Yeah. So what I'm looking for, there's two things. I'll go over the first one, is our offensive line. The bad news is Brandon Coleman is dealing with some lingering injury. So this guy who was ascending into potentially being the starting left tackle will now miss out on practicing against the Jets. And good chance he's going to miss out on practicing against the Dolphins. And so how can you really then say, okay, go ahead, week 1, you're starting? So that part, missing that is going to be bad, but it does look like Cornelius Lucas will be back. He was gone last week. He had a sudden death of his mother. And then right tackle Andrew Wiley is finally getting healthy enough to practice. And so we may get that starting offensive line to finally practice together, because the one part of training camp that has not been good is they've been shuffling so many guys around. They've been bringing free agent tackles in, that there may be a chance against the Dolphins during practice, not the preseason game, but that we could have our potential starting 5 offensive linemen finally work together. And that would be good to see.
We need that. Absolutely. Because you got to build that continuity. And if they're not on the field together, because I've noticed that we have been shuffling a lot. That's not good. You just throw them out in the first week and like, all right, here's your starting 5. Like, we need to get them working together. What else? How going into this game, what have been some of the things they've been saying kind of about JD5 is continuing to say all the positives?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things they said, the offense didn't look very good against the Jets, but Cliff Kingsbury has kind of come out to say, I'm not looking to win practice, guys. So he's calling plays, but he's not trying to script something that is going to expose what the Jets do. So, JD5 struggled at times against the Jets, and I would imagine against the Dolphins you may see some of that again, but I think I'm going to pump the brakes on being concerned about that.
Right. Well, so speaking of the Dolphins game, though, how much time do we expect him to have? Are we thinking he's going to play a quarter, play a half? I mean, are we there yet, or?
I don't think a half. I think you might see a quarter, and it also may depend on how the game's going. It's kind of similar against like the Jets. Like, I forgot to stock up. My stock up would kind of be with like what Cliff Kingsbury did against the Jets. He got the ball out quickly with JD5. He wasn't going to let him get hit. And so if you're doing something similar, if your offensive line's there, maybe you can play a quarter. But if some of these guys get dinged up or, out there, you don't need to expose him to something more than what he needs to. So I think you might see him a quarter. And then it kind of sounds like they're going to go to Driscoll because Mariota's a little dinged up. And then they just brought in Ashburn's own Briarwood's legend, Trace McSorley, going to get snaps probably against the Dolphins.
Oh, good gracious. Trace McSorley with the Penn State too, right? Yeah, he was with the Ravens for some years. Yeah. No, this is interesting. They had to do that because the beautiful Sam Hartman had the issues with the shoulder.
The shoulder,
and that was terrible because he actually had a decent game and got in there. And I didn't like that they took him out towards the end and let Driscoll run that game-winning drive. But now we see probably why they did that because of the shoulder.
Right, because injury. Yeah. What else are you looking for out of like practice against the Dolphins?
Well, honestly, I want the continuity of our offense, but also the defense. I really want to continue to see our defense flying around there. And obviously, we notice now our front 7 is going to have to be on lockdown. Like our front 7 is going to have to create havoc because we still are kind of wishy-washy in the secondary. You know what I mean? I mean, our guys, they didn't give up major things, but at the same time, I just don't have confidence in our secondary right now. So I'm really looking to see our front 7. Can we shut down the run? Can we create problems in the pass game to get it so before they can even get it out there? I'm really looking to see them keep progressing towards the regular season from a bend but don't break defense to a formidable defense, a defense that can create turnovers.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm all with you on the defense there. And I think the other area I'm going to be interested to hear is how do our corners play against the Dolphins? They've got some studs. And they also, if you remember, when Miami came to FedEx last year, they clowned us with what they did and how they showboated against
their touchdown dances.
Secondary.
Yeah.
Yes. So is there going to be some remembrance of this? Or more importantly for me, is there going to be some fixes to the problems that we had? Like, I want to see, how does St. Juice go? What Forbes? Michael Davis. I think the fourth guy that people are kind of talking about, Noah Igbenogany. I said it right. I said it about as close as I could. And kind of seeing what has he got. And again, just they're not scheming. I understand that, but are these guys able to improve at all?
Yeah, we need to see that. And another thing, I want to see they have a couple pieces on that D line. I want to see our running game continue to go, and I want to see who is that. Are we going to have those two guys, McNichols and Wiley, be our 3 and 4? If they get a lot of action, but it's been looking like Robinson's getting more of the he's more defined as the number one, and Eckler's coming in there almost like a third down back, but definitely taking some carries away, and that's good. But then you want to see who those next couple guys. I want that running game to be consistent and fluid, because obviously we know that we're trying to get the ball out quick. We're trying to keep Jaden Daniels upright and healthy. Having a consistent running game and one that there's a threat of the running game, that brings that read option. That brings that, that play action and all that. Let's remember the last time we had a guy like this with RG3, Alfred Morris, who was virtually a no-name before, had a career season his first year with us because of that threat of RG3 running. So I'm definitely kind of trying to see what our run game does against some AFC East opponents that, we both kind of think they're going to be probably playoff bound. If Rodgers gives them the full 17, we definitely throw him in there. And Miami, they put 70 up on somebody, so we know what they're going to do. So I'm interested to see how we can do, and if we can take, if we can dominate the game with the run.
Right. No, I'm with you. I like it.
Oh yeah. So anybody else? Anybody in particular? Like any battles you're looking at?
Not this week. God, it's preseason. It's preseason. Still, I can't get into it.
I want that no name, that rando, the Whiteside from last year. I want that one guy, man.
Yeah, Tyler Owens. I'll say that. I'm looking to see if Tyler Owens makes a play and thumps somebody. I'll give you that.
And speaking of the safeties, Hampton, Percy Butler. I need somebody to come out from the crowd. Like, we're not seeing anything. I need something to be excited about. So I'm looking for something like that, especially against that pass attack. But yeah, buddy. So that is that preseason. But look, ladies and gentlemen, we got to move this thing right along, and it's always good when we're able to bring in a friend of the show. Do I have the video? Let me see if I have this. Hold on. I want to do this because whenever he comes on, I had his intro video. Oh, no, I don't have a tag. My bad, Jack. All right, man. We got to shout out our guy, friend, close family, our dude, Jack Niedermeyer. What up, Jack?
Hey, you spelled my name wrong, man.
That's me. I don't know how to spell your last name.
That's
M-E-Y. Is it M-E-Y-E-R?
M-E-Y-E-R, but it's okay. It's
I think it's spelled that way in my phone too. That's why.
Oh my god.
Man, Jack, man, how you been, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. I like your hair, Sean. You're growing it out, man. It looks great. Yeah. I love it.
Started out as Defiance, and now it's just gotten out of control, and I'm going to see how far it will grow.
Dude,
it's pretty big. It's
keep it
pinned
rolling,
down
baby.
because of this headpiece.
Keep it rolling. I know. I can say that. That's what caught my eye the first thing I got on here, dude. It's looking great. Keep it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm not going to make any comments.
So I can pick that thing out in front of you.
Yeah.
My hair's looking good today, buddy. That's why I'm not wearing a hat. I would just like to point this out. First, two things. All three of us first are wearing a Redskin shirt. And now the biggest thing, though, is Jack's wearing a Redskin shirt in Melissa's house.
I wore it downstairs, too, and she didn't say anything. So I just kept my mouth shut. But I've got 2 things left that got the logo on it and everything like that. So yeah, I'm trying to.
Well, do you need more? I could send stuff to you.
No.
I could have it shipped right to you.
I gave that hat to Sean. I couldn't wear it. I wasn't allowed to wear it anymore. So it just comes in spurts. Sometimes I'm okay. Then anything might trigger the response of the terrible thing that is the Redskins and the terribly racist logo.
So what if I'm trying to get like some bootlegged Commanders shirts with the Redskins logo right there, and then you can wear them.
You can get them from China. Yeah, they'll do anything you want. Yeah.
Yeah,
they'll put
China.
anything
You can go to DC. You get some of those people to
DC?
spray paint that stuff on
Some
there.
of the street vendors, they got it.
Watch this season. Once we walk, if we get a chance to walk into the stadium, I bet you there gonna be some cats on the side. Like, look, I got these new Commanders with the
That's what
logo.
I'm saying. That's what you could be showing Melissa. Look, I'm just supporting the Commanders. It's an alternate logo.
Supporting local businesses. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I might actually go to a game this year. Yeah, Claire wants to go to a game, and I was talking to Tucker. He might want to hit up the Giants game this year at home. So that might be a W, man. I might go see the Commanders W. That hasn't happened. I don't even
Josh
know.
Norman, the Cleveland Brown game we saw.
You're right.
We sat close to the sidelines. We had really good seats.
That was back when Braylon Edwards was still playing. That was a long time ago.
Years ago.
I remember that. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of that, you're talking about you're going to a game. I mean, we're all in here, all decking out our stuff. Jack, I asked Will this question. I know it's just preseason, but is there excitement in the air? Like, were you excited about this preseason game and this kind of preseason?
I watched more than I thought I would. I watched about the first quarter. But I've been hurt so many times. Like, just
yes.
It's tough, but at the same time, it's new ownership. It was like I was texting Will. It was so nice not seeing Ron on the sideline, just sitting there with his arms crossed, going like this, not saying anything. God, it's so nice getting him out of there. And I love him as a person. He's a great dude, but it's just it was getting real bad. Like so I'm probably the most excited I've been, I'd say, since the RG3 year. But that was like the peak of my excitement for the last 10 years. Like it's a very, very large second, like a big gap.
Okay, I gotcha.
So I'm not, but this is the most excited I've been in a while for sure. But it's new quarterback. New coaching staff. They got a lot of new faces in here. That like a lot of turnover, and it's it's necessary. You got the talk of a new stadium, but that's going to be 5-6 years down the road, if that. And then maybe a rebrand kind of up here in a couple years. Like they got a lot of stuff going. There's a lot of stuff to be excited about, I think. And so it's just just got to be patient. And I'm not expecting them to make the playoffs this year, but that's the thing I love about football, man. Like, you can turn a team around pretty quick. They might surprise us here, but it's tough to say. I'm not going out that far yet, but everyone's talking about the next Texans and everything, and we'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
I did not get good odds at the time when I was in North Carolina to look at Commanders over on wins. I did get good odds on JD5 Rookie of the Year though, so I might have put.
I think that's a solid bet. He's got a chance, man. Like he's definitely got a chance depending on that line. But like I like Kingsbury. I like what he did with Kyler. Like I think he's got a chance to really put up some good numbers. But so we'll see what happens, man. But I think that's a good use of your money. It might be between him and Caleb. Did you say Rookie of the Year or an NFL MVP?
Rookie of the Year.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And MVP. Well, those odds would probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
But you said it perfectly. You kind of segue into the next question we had was going to be, what coach are you most excited about this year? You said we brought in a lot of new faces.
It's got to be Joe Witt, man. Like that defense was so bad last year, and I blame the defense of why our boy Sam Howell is no longer here, Sean. Like I think that's why.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. Among other things.
They were yeah, but they're playing behind every game. Every single game they're playing behind.
Game.
Every
And
single
had
game.
them in there. Yeah,
And they
say
got-
that again for the people in the back, Jack. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Sam Howell, if we had a better defense, Sam Howell would still be here right now, starting this team, and we would not have picked number 2 overall last year. That's for sure.
Do you want to be in that situation? Would you want to be
I don't
in
know.
2024 in that situation?
Maybe. I'll never know. I'll never know now. It's too late. I'm just afraid he's going to go out there in Seattle and take Gino's job and start tearing it up, man. So,
gonna happen.
you know,
It's gonna
that's how it happens. That happens with Washington Commanders, man. So,
Yep.
but you know, but again, that defense last year was so bad. Like, I didn't even know how bad until I started looking through the stats. But like, they were last in total defense, pass defense. They gave up 59 total touchdowns last year. Rush defense 27th, scoring defense last. Red zone defense was probably their best stat. They were 21 overall.
Bend
with,
but don't break. Sean
6.7.
Special.
Yep.
Still pretty bad, but not
Yeah.
as bad as the other stats. So there you go.
It's so wild to me how bad they were on defense with Ron and Jack Del Rios. Like, honestly, I just don't understand. These guys are career coaches, and yet our defense was literally, like you said, it was pathetic last year.
They
What
might have had a
happened?
good system, but they were unable to get the correct personnel in here.
Yes.
Like they could not do it, and you know it's clear. So you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, the third down efficiency, you know, 28th overall. I remember watching so many games where they just the other team would just convert third down after third down after third down and just
Yeah.
you know break off like a 12-minute drive, and I just sit there watching it. So yeah, bad times, man.
About it. Yeah. But
Yeah.
all right, so but in comparison to now all the pieces that we've added to the team, obviously, you know, getting a couple guys from Dallas, getting Frankie Lavu and Bobby Wagner, really building up that front seven.
Mhm.
Although we still kind of have a void in the secondary. I mean, what are your expectations for that? Are we going to get better? I mean, there's a lot of talk about it.
I don't think it's possible to get worse, man. So, yeah, in this case, like the only thing you might be missing is a little bit of rush outside on the on the edge. Losing Sweat, losing as much as Chase Young didn't play, losing him is gonna hurt a little bit, I think. But with the new defensive scheme coming in, it was nice seeing that first team defense play for the first drive on against the Jets. I don't know if they're playing against their starters. I doubt we were, but
Right.
but still, like you guys were talking about earlier with Luvu flying around. And I know Will was hating on my boy Jamin Davis, but I saw him come off his block on the edge after sealing the edge and make a solo tackle. That dude's super athletic. So if you can, if Ron and Jack were holding him back from switching into his true position, like who knows? Like he'll get some rotation, he'll get some play this year, man. Like with being short on defensive end, I definitely think you'll see him coming in there and outside linebacker. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he's been a pass rush specialist this whole time. We just never realized it. So
Right.
but yeah. Again, Luvu, you didn't even see Bobby Wagner in there. So yeah, I was looking at most of the linebackers from last year aren't even here. Cody Barton's gone. Jabril Cox is gone. Dejon Harris is gone, even though they didn't do much. Kalik Hudson gone. Yeah, David Mayo. I always like David Mayo. But yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
Our starter from last year. He was our starter
Thank
for a
goodness.
couple of games.
Thank goodness.
Come on
Yeah.
now.
Looking
Come
at
on,
those,
man.
looking at those Jags, man, not impressive.
Right.
Yeah, and then like you were saying, Jack Del Rio and Ron played linebacker, and
Yes.
it blows my mind. So, but yeah, that's probably the positional depth I'm most excited about. I know that with the linebacker, the revamped linebacker core. So I think that's going to lead to a different look this year, and hopefully keep us more in games, work on that pass defense.
Right.
This is Forbes last year here. Like he's gone after this year, and then every time I hear Christian Gonzalez's name, I'm just gonna get upset.
You're gonna, yeah. And which, to Jack's credit, I will tell you this, Sean. The very next day after the draft, he called me up, cussing out the decision, and he was just like, "That Christian Gonzalez was there. What are we
Right
doing?"
there.
And optimistic Will is like, "Oh, but they like Forbes. They want this
SEC
guy."
Will, he's an SEC guy. He's an SEC guy. He
there
must
it
be
is.
amazing.
Yep.
He's
It
playing
just
the
means
best
more,
football
right?
in the
It just
world.
means more.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's depressing. But
It certainly seems like, like all three of us are on the same page where it's like Luvu seems to be that guy they brought in where we're like, what do we have here? Like how, what is this? What type of havoc is this guy gonna wreck? That's gonna be fun on Sunday. All right, so Ben posted a good question. Since you two love Sam Howell, I'm gonna go ahead and let you all read it, and I'll give you a chance to answer it first.
Sure. So I think it's tough to say. That's like the chicken and the egg type thing here, where he definitely put them in bad positions with the turnovers, but at the same time, playing behind and playing also in EB's offense, like you were completely one dimensional. Like he was dropping back like 50 times a game. The defense knows what's coming. Like it wasn't just Sam Howell and his failure to kind of take the next step in his progressions to get better as a quarterback, but he was just set up to fail with that coaching staff and the play calling, and then also that defense not being completely unable to bail him out, and him constantly having to play from behind. So, I see what Ben's saying, but I think it's again a multitude of things. Offensive line, like you said too, not great. Took most sacks of it by far of anyone else in the NFL. So
And the only part I ever, people get on me because, I love North Carolina and this is your guy, yada, yada. But the thing I always get on people about is that, yes, he was bad. Yes, he struggled. But damn if he didn't have any help whatsoever. Getting sacked. I mean, for 4 or 5 weeks straight, we gave up the season high sack total for the opposing team. Like, we were he was on his back, so of course he's going to start having happy feet. And to your point about EB, when all the routes are 20 plus yards and it's taken, you don't have 3 and 4 seconds back in the pocket. So everything compounded on each other. And I'm not saying that he wasn't a problem with it, but for people to sit there and continue to say, "Oh, Sam, he just wasn't ready. He wasn't given a fair shot." And we're comparing him with other guys that are given fair shots, and we're like, "Oh, these should be the same," but it's not the same. So thank you, Jack, for saying so well what you did. And I hope he does well in Seattle. I'm not gonna lie.
I wish him the best, man. He's a good dude. He's a tough guy. I know he gets a lot of respect of the thing. He took last season like a man, dude. He did. What a terrible.
He kept his mouth shut during.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yep.
And anyone else would be like, "Do you understand the hand I've been dealt here? Like, what do you want me to do?" So
he comes out with a book a couple years ago. If he comes out with a book in a couple years, I'm going to read that. It's going to be a bestseller by Dan. My Year in Washington.
My Year in Washington.
Yeah. Why I got CTE Washington.
You talked about we're concerned that Sam Howell didn't have enough of a chance to win. Have they addressed the roster enough for Jaden Daniels, or is it a little bit of roster malpractice and not be bringing in someone like Brandon Ayuk or getting him another receiver?
I think they, honestly, the Commanders are not in the space to get that luxury item like Ayuk at this point. Like, you're going to have to give up draft capital and then pay him, and then so it's just not, I'd like to see Dotson play well this year. Like they've already got McLaurin. They drafted McCaffrey. Like I where they're at right now, no. Like I don't think they need to go out and get like a high price item like Ayuk. And also, regardless, I think San Francisco is looking for some type of receiver in return. So like, who are you going to give him back? So like I don't think so. They're just not in the position for that right now. I think the only reason they kept on getting tied to them was Jaden Daniels and that connection. Yeah. So otherwise and look at the drafts the last couple of years. Like, you can get good value at receiver in this 3rd, 4th round. Like, college football with where the offenses are going, where they're so pass happy. There's receivers everywhere. And so why would you give up draft if give up capital, give up your precious cap space right now when you still have a lot of holes in your roster. So some of these other contenders, yes, but Commanders, no. Maybe in 3 years when we're in the playoffs, but not right now.
Right. Well, you're bringing up a great point about the draft capital to kind of know, because Jared's right. Ayuk and McLaurin would be a heck of a duo. But what do we need to improve our roster with next year? If you were to give up that 1st round pick, which San Francisco would love, does that take away you drafting a left tackle? And maybe you move Coleman to right, or if you find out if Coleman's not a left tackle, or a starting corner. and that
Yeah.
including the second round. Look what they did in this second round. They got 3 impact players. One's a little bit dinged up right now, but at least 2 impact players in the second round. And you would have to at least give up a second rounder. So is that setting yourself up to miss out on something like that? All right, we got a special guest appearing.
Good night, sweetie. I love you. What's that? Good night. Go get mama. Okay. Good night. Because I'm on a show. Future Commanders fan. She just doesn't know it yet.
She'll find out this fall.
Let's go.
If you ask her though, Chiefs is number 1 for her. So I'm trying to change that. So if I take her to a game this year,
Right.
yeah, we just gotta hype.
We got to win, Jack.
Real hype. Yeah, they gotta win. They definitely gotta win.
Other
So
than
I'm
that,
working
she's
on it.
gone.
I'm working on it. I'm sorry to interrupt. What were we saying?
You're totally right. You're totally right. You got to take her to a game. All right. So last question is just kind of talk to me about this season. Like what are you anticipating? Ben mentioned he could see 7 to 8 wins. What do you think is going to happen this year?
Oh man, the division's tough, man. Besides, like the Giants, and they don't have a terrible schedule, but it all depends on how the offensive line shit goes up. I got a lot of faith in the coaching staff this year. I think Kingsbury is going to, really, really write some stuff up that's going to help Jaden Daniels succeed. He's proven to be able to do it, unlike the enemy. So, I don't see like a giant leap. Unfortunately, I think I'm probably, missing the playoffs and picking the middle of the round, something like that. Maybe getting, between 6 and 8 wins. That's pretty safe in my bet. But so yeah. They're definitely going to improve for sure. You're not going to see that, that hot mess of last year. Right? You're definitely going to see more in games, closer games, I think. So, that's kind of where I'm at. Like it's not going to be a complete dumpster fire, but it's not going to be. You're not going to be competing with some of those high octane teams yet.
Right.
But give us a couple of years, give us some good drafts, and then I can see that happen. It looks like Dallas is on the decline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got to pay a lot of guys. Like I don't know what they're gonna do. And then Giants are pretty bad. I still can't believe they just gave up Saquon. I watched Hard Knocks this year, and it really made me feel that I could be a GM in the NFL. watching that guy. I'm just like what is going on? I couldn't tell if he was just like kind of hamming it up a little bit for the show, or if that's what he does in his actual job. Because I'm just like what is how is it so hard to be like an NFL GM if this clown's doing it? Like it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
Yeah, but overall, I can see them competing a little bit this year and just being better off. I think we're gonna have some stuff to be excited about this year, guys.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's spot on.
Absolutely. All right, man. My guy Jack Niedermeyer, man. Hey, it is always a joy and a pleasure to see your face, my guy. I appreciate you hopping on here.
Anytime, man. It's been busy, so yeah, just ping me. I'll get on here for you, boys.
We appreciate it.
And get to the regular season. I think I'm actually going to watch more than 6 games this year. I think that's what's going to happen. So.
Yep.
I mean, you watched the preseason game, so it's a start. We're getting somewhere.
First quarter.
That's
a new record for me. Hell yeah.
Let's go. My guy. All right, we'll see you next time, bud.
All right. Have a good night, guys. See you.
All right.
Yeah, buddy. Yo, so ladies and gentlemen, we have you know what, we're gonna take a quick breather, and then we're gonna bring in our next guest here, and we talked Washington. We're gonna turn things around and talk a little Dallas, the Cowboys. buddy, with that jazz straight from the Sean Spencer collection. Shout out to our guy, Mr. Anton Benton. Awesome artisans. Definitely get in touch with him. He does good work. Without further ado, we got to bring in my guy from way back, that seems to somewhere down the line have fallen off the good side and went to that Dallas Cowboy star, Mr. Jared. Oh man, what up, Jared? What's up, baby?
What's up, Sean? And correction, I never fell off. I was always on the star. You know what I'm saying? I never.
I give you some credit.
I never ever liked the Redskins, like ever. You know what I'm saying? I just never. I know in the DMV it's real divided and stuff, but I never ever really ever liked you guys ever. But I'm back though. Thank you.
I'm glad you're back, man. Glad you're back. On
yeah.
behalf of, Dan Quinn, Joe Witt Jr., Dorrance Armstrong, Tyler Biotish, and Dante Fowler Jr. We just want to say thank you for our new members.
We're gonna start the show off spicy. We're gonna start the show off spicy. I see.
They seem to be happy in their new location and their new dig. So we can start there.
That's
How
cool.
are you feeling about that, man? The mass exodus. Let's talk about the mass exodus from Dallas.
That's cool. We'll just go straight into it. What's up, Will? What's up? You know what I'm saying? We'll get straight into it.
I told you I was ready.
I guess I'll get to Will in a second. You know what I'm saying? How I feel about the mass exodus. At first when Dan Quinn left, that was a body blow. Be as it, how it was. It just didn't end very well, and couldn't. It's weird. Like, the whole time, the whole tenure was good. Like, he really took us from a bad defense and made us an elite defense, top 5. Getting interceptions and breaking records and stuff like that. Turnovers galore. But it didn't work out. And so, but the way that it ended the last time when it didn't work out ended on his side of the fence. Most of the time, it's on McCarthy. Or it would be a situation where it was like, well, the defense showed up, the offense stalled out, but everybody got pants that game against the Packers. And so, I'm sure this can be an answer to a lot of the questions, but there's some bitterness. There's no doubt about it. Like, it's just straight saltiness. Like, it's who deserves to stay, who deserves to go. So, I mean, if Joe Witt Jr. allowed Love and them to come into our house and do that, most of us are like, peace. If Dan Quinn was already trying to, get a head coaching job because he knew at halftime we was about to get, doused, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he can bounce, you know what I mean? Shout out to them. But some of the players, more so from a depth standpoint, I think from an emotional standpoint, you don't like to lose players from a winning team, but when you get down to the numbers, they're smart moves. So, but there's a lot of fields right now in Cowboys Nation. A lot of fields, all the fields, just all the fields.
Well, tell me about some of those moves, because I'll be honest. I keep my eye sort of on what the other teams in NFC East are doing, but I'm not paying that much attention. So what happened this offseason? What have you all done?
Okay, so first of all, as a fan, we got duped. We got hoodwinked. Jerry said we were all in, okay? And what I would say what he did is the equivalent of your mom picks you up and y'all on the way home, and before y'all leave in the car, she says, I'm going to take y'all to McDonald's. And then you're like, yay, we're going to get McDonald's. And then she drives past the McDonald's, goes home, y'all get in the house, and you're thinking, oh, what happened? She says, oh, well, there's dinner at home.
Oh, I've had it happen.
That's devastating.
Okay. All right. That's what happened this offseason. Jerry said that we was all in. We was thinking, bet, you're going to get players. We're going to get good ones. We're going to move this around. We're trying to win. You old. You ain't trying, you ain't trying to play around. And what really is Steven was just like, nah, we're all in on who we have, but really that's just BS. Like in seriousness, what it is, because they're gonna pay the players. They can't. They've gotten a taste of what it's like to win 12 wins 3 times in a row, so that keeps relevancy. You feel me? And so they're gonna pay the players. The issue is, and this is just my opinion. Steven is just not going for it. He gonna give it up, but he got to let them know, like, nah, man, I just can't be out here rewarding this. How can I reward that? Now the stats, everybody who deserves money deserves the money, but there's also compelling arguments to be like, but what does that translate to? So if I pay Dak all that bread and we can't get any other players, the best we can do is to get what we just got. If I give CD all that bread and we can't do anything else, we're going to get right back to where we were. What's the point? So, but we're still going to do it though. And so, you know what I mean? But when it comes to free agents, they had, it hadn't really worked out too well with high price free agents. I mean, when they wanted it to. When it comes to paying the money, so like Amari, they just didn't like Amari, so they got rid of Amari. After the Brandon Carr deal, I don't know if y'all remember him back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
He got paid market value, and the jury was still out on that. And so ever since Steven took over, he didn't been kind of real iffy and finicky with the money. So what I would say is that that's the attitude right now of free agency. So they know they're going to give it up, but if they keep playing, they the price tag going to keep going higher and higher. They're not going to pay Micah, so they don't got to worry about that this year.
Okay.
They're going to pay CD soon.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, I would like to believe that they'll try to get something done with Dak too. But I mean, I guess he got to play ball. But I mean, everybody just janky, right? Everybody just upset right now. Everybody's pissed off. Excuse my language.
Don't go too far on that Dak thing. I got a theory question for you in a little bit.
Go ahead.
So you talked about they made shrewd moves. They made smart business decisions about some of those guys who left to Washington. So how did they replace some of these guys? Because some of them were starters, some of them were, impactful role players, so that's not as difficult. But how did you replace some of these guys, or did they?
All right, so I'm gonna go real quick with most important or a player or never mind. Let me just go in any order. So with Biadasz, they draft well on the offensive line, and this class was deep in offensive line. So when they did their draft analysis, Cooper Beebe was on their radar, and when he was there to get drafted, they immediately were like, "That's our center."
Okay.
And so that was that. The kid from Utah, Tyler, is it Smith? I think it's
Who, Guyton from Oklahoma.
Tyler Guyton. There we go.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. That's how invested I've been, because we're all pissed off. But Tyler Guyton, ain't gonna lie, they scouted him. He was the last one. He was the last kind of blue chip prospect left that was on their board. So the line was easy for them to replace. They drafted Marshawn Nealon from Western Michigan to play defensive end, but he's more of a run stopping type of defensive end. And so Zimmer, the way that he wants to run the defense, you better know what you're doing, otherwise you're not going to be out there. And it's going to be more towards stopping the run and being assignment sound, which I like. So that's how they replaced them. And you see how easy that was to remember, because they didn't get no free agents other than Eric Kendricks, which was a good pickup. But I'm sure Zimmer had to beg and plead, let me get a field general, on this side, can help me stop the run, and when LVE got hurt, he retired.
Yeah,
it was about time for that. So, Kendricks was a good pickup, but they were not going to overpay and they weren't going to do it fresh off that loss. Steven's just not going to do it. He's just not going to go for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not they weren't looking, but all of their offers is going to be on their terms. You know what I mean? Low ball, here and there. They didn't even give Derrick Henry an offer because they felt they were going to insult him. So that just, you know what I mean? So they weren't going to overpay people for what they did. And even for some of the people that what they already done. So, I mean, and what they're doing. But that's how they got replaced via the draft. Next man up on some of the guys that was already on the team. I can tell you right now, Dorrance Armstrong and Fowler right about now would be pretty good to have as depth. But for what they were asking, so I'll be real with you, and you guys be real with yourself. If they were real with y'all, they would say they would have stayed if they were getting the bag that they wanted with Dallas. But you guys were willing to overpay, and they, went to a, familiar coach. So it was just kind of out the door, like, hey, look, if you don't get what you want here, I'm always over, it's this new situation. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? So, but depth is depth. So that's good. You guys are going to rely on them like starters, and that's fine. But, the whole NFC East has the blueprint on those guys. You just run the ball at them. So, we'll that's how that went down. Tony Pollard, we weren't going to overpay for Tony. That's just how that was. And I mean that, and most of that again is just off of I think personally, just like, man, we did not get it done. Why does anybody need to get any money?
You brought back in Zeke though, right?
Well, I was going to ask you, what do you think about this running back core? I mean, are you going to be starting Zeke or South Carolina Rico Dowdle?
Rico he played against us.
We are definitely Dollar Treeing it up with the running backs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But if you have a good line, and if you got a good interior, you guys had Alfred Morris, and he's not going to be in the Commandos Hall of Fame, is he? So, I mean, you can find some running backs, and to address the Zeke thing, he was there. He was available. He was cheap. So
that's a big move.
I don't think that was. I mean, it's a good morale booster. I mean, and I'm probably one who probably thinks that Zeke probably is going to be better this year. The Patriots was just trash. And if you're expecting, it's all about perspective. If you're thinking you're going to get, Ohio State Zeke, then it's going to be a huge disappointment. But somebody who can move the chains, wiggle and shake here and there, always going to be, a plus on pass pro, can catch out the backfield. I mean, that I know that's not McCaffrey, but I mean, a trio of good backs is good. And I mean, Rico, he's pretty good. Long as he can stay healthy. I'm interested to see what Deuce can do. He's a little injured right now and kind of maybe on the verge of not making the team, but 5'5"
self. I wanted him.
We'll see we'll see. I mean, it's not good, it's not great, but it'll do for now. I mean, and I guess this is the main attitude. It's early. And they have, the nitty, like I said, man, is they're just not going to do anything that they don't want to do if they don't have to do it. So the closer we get to the season, and maybe even into the season, until that check engine light come on to them in their minds about the running back position, they're not going to make any moves on that. You know what I mean? And I guess, they all know what that is, and everybody's going to say the right things for right now. But, we got the Browns coming up week 1. So, I feel good about actually the line, and if we can move the chains, then we good. But we definitely got to have CD though.
Yeah. Well, you bring up a really good point about replacing the players, and speaking honestly, is you guys have historically in the last couple of years drafted really well, and on paper, a lot of these choices that they made a lot of sense on replacing players, like you said, Guyton and Beebe taking over those two spots, bringing in Nealon brings in, so they. On paper, it certainly seems like they know what they're doing. The free agency and the lack of bringing anybody in, is questionable. But again, like you said, they know what is coming down the road and what they have to pay, and so they can't just give it away right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Sean,
you got a question? Otherwise, I got my theory for him.
No.
Come on, Sean.
I wanted to ask if you had seen number one, you've seen the preseason game. Did you watch?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got your man Stetson 4 times. The fourth.
Yeah.
He threw 4 interceptions. That's why we call him Stetson Bennett the fourth, because he's gonna throw 4 picks.
He's garbage in the league. Yeah.
Nah, I mean he did what he needed to do. What I have learned, especially as we've entered this space of Let's Talk Football, is to kind of try to look at the film and look at individual play, because preseason play is trash. It's just men fighting for their lives out there. You know what I'm saying? And trying to make it. And so the further you get into the game, especially the first couple ones, but what I will say is the left tackle look good, the center look good. Obviously, I think Al Harris is the main guy that stayed, and that's the right guy that stayed.
Yeah, that was,
and that's the one that is going to help our DBs stay on top. 4 picks in the preseason. I mean that in all back 7 of it too. That's crazy work. So that's what you want to see. I am not a huge Trey Lance fan. But I realize he needs work. But I'm just, I think it is what it is. I like our group of receivers and everything, but it's hard to get a good look when your quarterback's trash.
Yeah.
In throwing, in processing, that game. I'm not going to say he's a trash person. I'm just saying that game. It just because he's late, he be throwing them high heaters to make up for lack of anticipation.
Yeah.
So he don't throw nobody open. So he got to beam that in there. So that's not exactly conducive to completions.
Right.
But I'll give it an overall C. But I'll give it an A+ because nobody got seriously hurt, and we already lost somebody for the season in Sam Williams. Yeah. Which was, and that was kind of supposed to be the answer to kind of your question, Will, of how, we lose Dorrance and Fowler. We thought that Sam could actually combine their attributes.
Yeah.
The strength of Dorrance and the speed of Fowler, all in one, but, he's out for the season. So The rookie Nealon is going to step up and have to get his feet wet early.
Yeah. He's wearing a big number too, 94. That's pretty.
They gave it to him.
Well.
They gave it to him. I'll tell you one thing. It may not always be, getting turnovers, but Mike Zimmer's not going to allow them to get ran on no more. He'll find somebody out there. He'll go down the line to find somebody out there who's committed to stopping the run. He'll take Micah out for real if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do when it comes to stopping the run. That's one thing he's going to work on. I hope they can.
Yeah, tell us about Zimmer. I mean,
go ahead.
Lost a big defensive coordinator, but Zimmer is very well known. He became a head coach because of what he can do as a defense coordinator in Dallas. So talk to us about what are they talking about his defense? What's he going to run? What is he looking to do?
Very, very assignment sound right off the rip. So you're getting yanked if you don't know what you're doing. So having wide receivers, butt naked, wide open like it was in the Green Bay game, not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He'll probably call a timeout and be like, you're out. That's it. Somebody in there that's going to get it done. Also, So everybody's got to have high IQ because he's going to run multiple looks, post snap, pre snap. He's going to hit you with that double leg gap blitz, and Micah's going to be everywhere. And I think we kind of spammed Micah being at defensive end, and you can kind of run at him and you know where he's at. But he was at linebacker. He can be anywhere. He can go everywhere. He can do anything. He can come get the quarterback, and he's going against your center 9 times out of 10 out that route. You know what I'm saying? And the center is going to have to help and whatever. So somebody else is going to be open. So, he's going to make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. He probably didn't really touch the secondary like that as far as changing the schemes. He's probably going to let Al Harris cook and make sure everybody's out there. We got Bland and Trayvon Diggs coming back off an injury, and they're going to ramp him up slow. But we got some good depth. They like the kid that they drafted from Wake Forest, Kalen Carson. He's already getting some reps, first team. That if it's trash, we'll probably try to holler at Stephon Gilmore if he doesn't get snatched up. But I think for the most part, I like the defense. We just need Mozzie Smith to be a first round draft pick defensive tackle, and not anything less than that. And so we're not asking him to be Chris Jones, but we need him to occupy blocks, and let the linebackers run free. And I think at the beginning of the season, off season, linebacker was probably a strength, weakness. But after free agency and everything like that, it's a strength now. And we're going to be a lot better probably with the run fits and coverage. But I like what Zim's doing, and he's the opposite of Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's a player's coach. Yay. Everybody's good. He's a dude. I'm a dude. You're a dude, right? But the Zimmer, nah, he's not having that. If you're trash, you're trash. Either get better or get off the field.
Right.
So, and they're coaching hard. They're coaching assignment, and that's what you want. And overall, it may look like chaos, but everybody is on notice. Everybody. Everybody. Zimmer's on a 1-year deal. McCarthy's on a 1-year deal. You see how they're doing with Dak and CD. So it's not easy. They want people uncomfortable, I think is the theme. And sometimes that brings urgency, and that's what they're banking on. That carrying business like this from the top down or from Steven down with this uncertainty and with this uncomfortability is going to make people want to fight for their job. So far, so good. As far as people going after it, getting after it, and people being uncomfortable, to see if that leads to wins.
But
all right, so
real quick, but now if that doesn't work with everybody on the 1-year deals, is there a chance they blow the thing up this offseason?
Oh no, that's no secret.
Oh, okay.
That's the all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in on if y'all don't get it done, everybody need to get a box and pack it up.
About that time.
Yes, that is absolutely what it is. It was jarring as fans to kind of hear that, and I think fans would have taken that if that was what was said from the jump. Just say that. If you try to blow this up, just say that then. Don't tell us that you all in and then, you're not. But, this has worked with other organizations and teams in situations in sports history, and, having that urgency of like, nothing's guaranteed after this. So, I got to ball out. That can work. I think they got the right guy as far as the head coach to kind of deal with that. To kind of, compartmentalize, hey, we got to get this done, block out the noise. But I don't know. I mean, as a fan, you would kind of like to know, hey, everything's kind of buttoned up. But at the same time, there's also a healthy, fan base feeling like, Nah, that's right. Nobody should be getting anything. I don't want nobody to be comfortable. You're right. Don't pay nobody nothing. Don't extend nobody no nothing. Matter of fact, if we win the Super Bowl, that's a good problem that we got to pay everybody. But for right now, nobody gets nothing easy. I don't want nobody feeling comfortable. I don't want nobody feeling nothing. And that's like let's go like 60-40. 60 is like, man, just pay the guys. What are you doing? And then the 40% is like, no, you're right. Everybody needs to be having fire lit under their behind and one light away from being checked out.
Right.
And then the reason why I say that because and I'll send it back to you after this, Will. It's
Sure.
because we've been looking at you from the outside from having struggling seasons. But like you mentioned earlier, you've had 3 12-5 seasons. But then everybody hits you with the running joke. Oh, yeah, the Cowboys will make the playoffs just so they'll get out. So, I mean, what does that – I mean, from your perspective, it's kind of like what is – how are y'all feeling? Is it you're winning so much it doesn't even matter? You don't even have joy in the wins or you know, like, I mean, is that why you've gotten to this place? Or, I mean, talk to me.
I personally can't tolerate a losing season. I'm sorry. I've become bougie amongst my NFL fans. I've come to expect my 12-5 playoff, maybe an occasional win here and there. And it's good. It's good to make the playoffs. It feels wonderful. You guys don't know what that feels like. It's been a while. And so, you know, this is rich man NFL playoff making problems that y'all wouldn't know nothing about. You feel me? Y'all don't know nothing about this.
Nope.
No, but seriously, I mean, first and foremost, I never want to see our quarterbacks gone. I never I was diehard Tony Romo fan. I know everybody was like, he never won a big game, but that was my quarterback. I feel even more passionate about Dak. That's my guy. Now I know everybody split down the middle, but as long as he's upright and healthy, I will ride and die with whatever he do. I think he can do it, and I know that the proof is yet to be proved. But that's how I feel. I personally think that he worth the money. Give him the money. Second in the MVP. He's 30 plus. I mean, getting better. So that's my opinion. But I certainly could understand everybody that's like, you know, he hasn't done anything, he hasn't won anything. But yeah, they're definitely going to blow this up if it doesn't work, for sure.
I can see it.
All right, so you sort of answered what this crazy rumor is a little bit based on what you think, but here I'm going to ask this. Rumor saw the other day, and I don't know what Dak's contract situation, if they're out of it after this year, can they get out of it, is that Jerry wants Shedeur Sanders. What do you think about that?
It's definitely one of those things where I'm with the woman I'm with right now. We're not talking. Okay. You know, we're still together, but you know, it's kind of in between us. We already know we beefing because, you know, we haven't stepped up the commitment. Okay. And I mean, I'm focused on her and she's focused on me right now. But I know that chick over there, that young tender over there, though, you know, I know she's checking me out. I know that. I'm aware of that. And I could make that happen if I wanted to. But I am focused on making what I have right now happen. And if that's there, I know how to make that work. But I'm focused on what I have right now.
Yeah.
And I will say that to you and feel that, but also know that yes, that could happen. That's operation that if this goes sour, yes. But there's no need to talk like that because, you know, I'm still with who I'm with now. You know, that we are together right now.
Yeah.
That's why you got the shades on. So you can look over at the other side.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're just not talking right now. We're just, you know, we're still together, you know, we're arguing. But no, seriously, I mean, nobody on either side can confirm or deny any of that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the logical thing. And Deion, primetime would definitely set that up. But for right now, no one can get into that. I mean, if everybody's got to play their part for that to actually be a possibility. And so I fully think that they're going to get it done. I don't know how, but that's my belief. So, you know,
Get it done as in Shador will be a Cowboy next year.
No, that contract. Shador, all of that is too premature for that to be something that is official. But yeah, everybody wants Shador. Who doesn't? Who wouldn't want one of the top QB prospects?
We don't need him.
Oh, we got JD5.
Listen, a lot. Y'all haven't learned from RG3, have y'all? Y'all haven't learned a lot. A lot can change in a year. Okay, so don't let that age too well. You know what I'm saying? Look, I know y'all feeling good right now, but we'll see this time next year who needs and wants Shador Sanders or not. Okay.
we know Jerry and Dion will be buddy and all that.
The connections undeniable. That's too easy. But like I said, man, it's too premature for any of that to have any legs to it right now.
Sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. So all right, we talked about it. We broke the team down. You talked about who you've got coming into the season. We know what's on the line. Now let's put it out there. It's before
let's go.
Only one preseason game's been played. We gave ours. We think we're about 6, 7, 8 wins in there. You know, maybe in the playoff hunt. What are your expectations for your boys this year going into the 2024 season?
11-6, 12-5.
Okay, same thing.
I mean, I'm expecting a mad rush of things to get done before the season. I'm expecting them to lock in the boys that they need to lock in. And then I fully expect them to make this at least give them a full chance by the start of the season or whenever they need to give this one more last hurrah. So, because, you know, if this doesn't go well, that doesn't necessarily guarantee everybody's going to do well somewhere else. So this has got to go well for everybody to go well somewhere else. So I'm thinking 11-6, 12-5 again. Like I said, I think it's real early. Everybody's done their free agent shopping by now. But it's still, you know, trades and things that can be had during training camp and all that stuff, injuries, all that. So it's early, but the time is definitely taken. But 12-5, 11-6, between 12-11 wins. That's my expectation.
Playoff?
Oh yes. And postseason. You didn't ask postseason is something different. Okay, we didn't get into that. You know, we didn't get into that. You know, but
do you want to go ahead and put it out there?
Maybe 1 to 2 playoff wins. You know, this year.
Oh, you sure about that?
That's it.
When's the last time you had one?
Yeah. I'm sure of it. I'm sure we're gonna get. You know, we're gonna get to the NFC playoff championship. That's what I believe this year.
And lose again.
Huh?
And then are you going to lose there? Or are you going to take it to are you going to go into the Super Bowl?
I believe we're going to get there, and you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there and win. We'll get there and win. We'll win the NFC championship game this year.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and take it home. Take it home. Go ahead and
That's
take it
it.
home. Are you winning the Super Bowl?
No.
Take it
we win
home.
the Super Bowl?
Own
Yeah,
it.
man. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah, we're gonna win the Super Bowl, of course. Yes.
You know
yes.
did
that not sound confident?
I'm gonna let your own buddy tell
Yes.
you.
That make me crazy.
Yes, it does.
I know I'm crazy, and you know, that's what we're gonna do, and yeah. Super Bowl this year.
I like it. Pretty bold. I don't think I agree with you, but
It is. Hey, you know what? It is bold. I've looked a fool plenty of times before. Why not again? So, you know, I was talking to Will before this. I said, man, look, we're all crazy fans. Like, man, I got hurt so bad last year. Am I going to sign up for this again? You betcha I am, right?
I need to get hurt again. Let's go.
You know I am. So, yeah, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Of course.
Yes. Yo,
had to step into my full fandom right quick. Yeah, we are.
Oh, I get it. Yo, my God, man.
Yeah.
I always appreciate when you come on here and join us really quickly. Let the people know where they can find you and what you're working on, man.
Oh, man, as always, JEYREDD. That's me at IG. I didn't mean to rhyme, but that's me there. You know, I always do my mixes and all of that there. You know me, all about mixing for Christ. But I do, other types of mixes that are positive as well. All about positivity. So you can catch me there.
Love it.
I can dig it. My God. Appreciate you, my guy. We'll talk.
It's always fun.
You already know. We'll catch each other.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, Big Will.
All righty.
All right, boss.
Thank you.
Yeah, buddy. Absolutely great. Hey, man, we want to sit there and send a special shout out to Jack Niedermeyer and our guy, Jared Harmon, coming on here, talking a little Washington, talking a little Dallas. But, Will, I think we can go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. What you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but are you going to watch the preseason game? You got to tell me when the game is. I don't know what day, what time.
Oh, yes. Preseason game this Saturday,
Okay.
7:30 in the evening.
Oh.
Yeah. So playing and at Miami, correct?
It is at Miami.
Yeah, because we come home next week to play Drake May and the Patriots. Who's excited?
Yeah.
Cannot wait. So, yeah, definitely tune into that, ladies and gentlemen, along with all of the other preseason games that are on. They have replays on NFL Network. So if you missed anything, you'll definitely be able to go back and watch that. But, yeah, definitely tune into all that. And tune into us next week where we'll be 1 week closer to the regular season. And we'll sure to have a lot more to talk about. So for my guy, South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer, it's your boy, Sean Spencer. We will see you next time. As always, hail to the Redskins.
Yes.
Hello, ladies and gents. It's Anton, your local awesome artist. Just here to let you know it's summertime. Projects need to get done. Are you being lazy on them? So if you got indoor projects, outdoor projects, like this pergola here, just got painted. Call me, I'll have your job done. See you later.
Dun, 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 dun.